Okay, so this is the trade I took this morning. I'm gonna recap this and just show what I was thinking during this setup, why I took this setup, and everything else in between. So going on to Lucid, I'll show you guys the profit I made. This was my last day for a payout, which I don't think I'm gonna take the payout yet. But here's the P&L for today. Yeah, I know yesterday was a bad day, but here's the P&L for today. We just got our 5 out of 5 days for a payout, but if I took a payout now, I would be able to take like a $700 payout, which now that we're at the payout amount that I can get, I'm much more comfortable, and I want to just trade up so I get a bigger buffer first. But okay, let's get into the trade I took today. So looking at the chart coming into today, we were at all-time highs on NQ and ES. So I was either thinking market opens and we trace down for a long setup, or we keep pushing up and maybe get a short setup, or no setup, because if we kept pushing up, I wouldn't want to take another long into that. Even though you're supposed to be long all-time highs, I just prefer to stay away from it if it's going up. So scaling down onto the 5 minute, I wasn't seeing much early into the morning, so I was letting this play out on its own. And when I started actually looking at the chart was around here, once we set the 10 a.m. key open, which is marked out with the blue line. So we have 10 a.m. key open there. We have a 1 hour gap down here, which we're reacting off of. So I was looking for maybe a retracement down for some longs, but after we place that 10 a.m. key open, we come down right here. I set limit orders at this point for sells for the 10 a.m. key open, because I was thinking we maybe will trace into a 5 minute gap like this or this, then come tap the key open, then shorts down to this key open. But that's not the setup that we got. We ended up not coming back up to the 10 a.m. key open. This was the only touch that we had on the key open. So I just let price run without me. I start looking for another setup after we sweep these lows. So these lows get swept, and I was looking for an enter off of this key open up to either this swing point or this 10 a.m. key open. And we ended up coming all the way down. I was waiting to see if we broke above to set my limits, but once we just kept going down, then I was waiting for us to tap into the 1 hour gap. And once we tap into the 1 hour gap, now I'm looking for longs up to the key opens up here, because we're still reacting off of this gap on the 1 hour. And so then I was looking for a bounce off of this gap, which we get right here. And once we get this inverse off of the gap, and this is what I mean when I'm saying that I'm putting together ICT and swing points, reversals, and top ticks, bottom ticks. This is what I mean when I'm saying that, because I didn't get any top tick entries this morning off of key levels. I was basing my setup off of ICT so that I could take the setup with targeting key opens instead of being a reaction off of a key open. So I take this right once we inverse this gap. I wait for this one to come down a little bit and then get entered right here. And I can show you, it looks a little crazy on Trade of 8 too, but this is where this is the same chart. This is where I took partials at for each partial. So you see I got in down here and then partials all up here. So I'm entered into the trade, and we get a huge candle to the upside, basically to start it off. And I was staying in either, I wanted to see how we reacted off of this swing point, and I wanted to see what ES was going to do, because ES was was closer towards the 10 a.m. key open. So I was worried that ES is going to have a reaction off the key open, and I'm going to be stuck on NQ somewhere down here. So that's just what I was looking at for this morning. Then I take my first partial somewhere around here. I took my first partial here. We haven't tapped into the swing point yet, so I'm still holding all my positions except for the partial that I took. And I'm setting alerts on ES for around here so that I know once it gets close to its key level, I should be watching that. And we take these lows out. Then I was looking for moves higher. And then once we get these legs higher right here, we start coming up while ES is also coming up. And once I see ES getting close to its 10 a.m. key open, I'm watching it super closely. And we were having reactions off of this swing point. But because ES isn't close enough to the 10 a.m. key open, I wasn't considering this enough of a reaction to take myself out of the trade yet. ES just shoots up. I don't even know what this is, but ES leaves a gap right there, unless I'm like, okay, this is what ES actually looked like. And once I saw ES get this tick entry on the 10 a.m. key open, that's when I got out of the trade. So it was actually, when I got out of the trade, it was like right after I saw that happen. So it was probably on this candle is when I got out. So once I saw that key level get tapped into with the reaction, I just took myself out of the trade completely here because we just swept all this trendline liquidity. ES tapped in the key open, NQ didn't, SMT is at the highs. So I was ready to get out of this trade by now, because also this secured my payout, because this ends up playing out lower. Now we're going into where we are today. So we're at a replay now. I'm glad I got out of this trade, because if I didn't get out right here, then I would be in all this drawdown instead of taking profits. So that's why I got out of that trade early. Let me know if you guys want a video on swing points, and yeah.